Why are these prophets always trying to hunch? That's a good question. Ungoverned hypersexuality in prophetic people is problematic. Yes, prophets are extremely sensitive, both spiritually and emotionally. But when that sensitivity gets hijacked by the enemy, it can manifest as hypersexuality. And to be clear, ungoverned hypersexuality is not just a personality flaw or a character flaw. It is the evidence of the spirit of Jezebel at work and on the throne. The spirit of Jezebel is not just about seduction. It's about manipulation, control, and perversion of God's gifts. You'll remember in the book of Revelation, chapter number 2 and verse 20, it said, "You allowed that woman Jezebel that calls herself a prophet to teach and to seduce my servants to commit sexual immorality." Now notice Jezebel was operating under the guise of the prophetic office, but used that position to distort and defile others. And Jezebel is not just a woman. The spirit of Jezebel can manifest in both men and women. An ungoverned hypersexuality in a prophetic person reveals an unyielded area in their life where the spirit of Jezebel is influencing and reigning and seeking to derail not only their assignment, but the assignment of the men and or women or both that fall victim to their ungoverned flesh. Now, the question may be, why does it always happen to prophets that have this hypersexuality? Because prophets are wired to be deeply connected, both to God and to people and to the spiritual realm. And when that wiring is corrupted or co-opted, intimacy becomes perverted. And instead of using the sensitivity to intercede and to hear from God and to build up others, they seek to build up an altar to their flesh, gratifying the self through sexual indulgence. And if we are honest about it, this doesn't happen in a vacuum. Hypersexuality in prophetic people is tied to unhealed wounds like rejection and abandonment and trauma. And Jezebel exploits those wounds to trap the prophet in a cycle of shame and compromise, and then to weaponize the prophet against the very people that they are sent to speak the mind of God to. And the greater danger is when a prophet is trapped in hypersexuality, their discernment is dulled, their authority is compromised, and their credibility is destroyed. And it is very easy then for their accuracy to remain potent while their character and their identity has been compromised. Jezebel doesn't just want to seduce the prophet. She wants to silence the prophet. She knows that a prophet bound by lust cannot function fully in their assignment. So how do you break free? First, you must confront the root. Hypersexuality isn't just about the behavior. It's about what's driving that behavior. Is it rejection? Is it loneliness? Is it ego? Is it trauma? Those wounds must be brought to God for healing. And some of you prophets need to be brought to a couch with a therapist for healing. Second, you need to renounce any agreement that you've made with the spirit of Jezebel. Sexual immorality doesn't just happen. It's tied to spiritual agreements that we've unknowingly made through our behaviors. You've got to break them in prayer and submit that area of your life to God and to earthly accountability. You can't walk alone. Isolation is Jezebel's playground. So you've got to surround yourself with people who will challenge you and pray for you and hold you to the standard of holiness that God requires of you and impose consequences on you when you violate the standard of God. Your sensitivity as a prophet is not a weakness. It's a gift. But if you don't submit it to God, it will become not only a vulnerability, but a weapon. And the spirit of Jezebel wants to silence the prophetic voice, wants your assignment aborted, and wants you to leave a trail of blood in the lives that you were sent to heal. So don't let that spirit have authority. Confront it, deny the flesh, take up your cross, and follow him.